Hello everyone and welcome back. This is another installment of a Napoleonic figure showcase in 1/72nd scale plastic. Having shown my small Bavarian force in the previous video, I'm now moving on to the first army I ever started collecting for the period, dating back to around 2020, the Austrians. Having started this army while still learning about the period, I realized that there are a few errors that will need to be set straight at some point, and overall I still consider it a work in progress. But I wanted to make this video nonetheless to maintain my own momentum and hopefully get some feedback as I bring it up to full historical accuracy. A few things on the topic of scale. First, I'm going with a basing system similar to the one used by General Tim on the Napoleonic Wargaming channel, with standard unit sizes of 24 figures for infantry, 8 for cavalry, and 1 or 2 guns for artillery. That comes out to each figure representing roughly 25 infantry or 50 cavalry. This being the Austrians, however, infantry battalion sizes were much larger, often 900 to 1200 men, but that starts to become really cumbersome on the tabletop. Therefore, I've gone with 8 bases or 32 figures per large battalion. Sure, that mathematically equates to more like 800 men, but we can handwave that by saying the Austrians are standing in deeper formations than some of their contemporaries, and therefore their lines are a bit shorter. Another thing you'll notice is these units only have one flag instead of the 2 flags that were so iconic, and that's for 2 reasons. First, it's difficult to get enough standard bearers for even 1 flag per unit, let alone 2. And second, the 2 flags I think just wouldn't look as good in 1/72nd. Now, maybe I can give it a shot with 1 or 2 units later on with the 2 flags, but for now I'm content with just using 1 for each. Now, as for the figures themselves, they're a composite from pretty much every 1/72nd Austrian set out there, save for a couple of Strelitz boxes that I couldn't find. And there are even some from a few non-Austrian sets as well. So there are multiple Franken units in the mix, but I feel like most of these blend together pretty well. In my opinion, some of the sets are better than others, but I don't want to get too deep into that one right now. I think I will probably end up making a 1/72nd Napoleonic brands tier list video at some point, so be on the lookout for that one. But with all that out of the way, let's get on to the units. I'm going to do this in 2 sections due to the small table here, but I'll start with the Major General, the commander of the full force. Whether it's a large division that he has here or a small corps is somewhat debatable, but either way he's in charge. And with the basing system I'm using, again with him having the 1 foot figure on the base with him, that indicates a Major General. So first up, here are all the regular infantry battalions in the army. You'll count 5 German Fusilier battalions, 4 of them large, 1 of them standard size, 2 Hungarian Fusilier battalions, both large, and 2 standard size Grenzer battalions. So we'll start over here with the German brigade. This is the Brigadier General. This is a brigade of 5 battalions from 3 different regiments. So we've got a regiment here with the green facings, 2 battalions, 1 large, 1 standard size. One thing that you will notice here about the German Fusiliers in this marching battalion is that there are some figures in there from an artillery set that really don't agree very well in terms of size with the other ones. These gargantuan figures are from an artillery box that I'll put on screen here. Really nice figures, very well sculpted, but they really are huge compared to the hat figures and even the older artillery set that included Fusiliers and Grenadiers together. So if you're making an Austrian force in this scale, just be aware that you're going to get nice figures with that box, but they really are too big. Next, we've got this regiment, both large with the red facings. And finally, this battalion here with the black facings is only 1 battalion, and I'm saying the story here is that it is a veteran battalion, so it's seen enough action where it's been whittled down to just the 1 battalion. So any game that I end up playing with these, they will be classed as veterans. Then over here we've got the Hungarian Brigade, so Hungarian Brigadier General in the front. Um, so the two Fusilier battalions are from different regiments, so you'll see one has the yellow facings and then one has blue. And then behind them there are the two Grenzer battalions. Now you'll notice that for the Grenzers I've given them only 18 figures per unit, standard size unit, as opposed to 24, and I did that to give it a more open order and kind of scattered look, to kind of add to the flavor of a more irregular type unit. And in the back here there's a series of casualty bases for keeping track of hits during the game, each one with enough space on it to fit a D6 pretty comfortably. So now moving on to the other half of the army, I've got three more brigades to show here. One will be the Reserve Brigade of Grenadiers, then another is the Light Cavalry Brigade, and finally the Heavy Cavalry Brigade, along with the artillery. So in front here is the Reserve Brigade of two battalions, converged battalions of Grenadiers. I still have to do a bit of tweaking with these units. From what I was able to find, I'm not sure if they actually carried flags or not. I've seen kind of conflicting things, but if somebody can let me know down in the comments whether or not it's correct to have them with flags, I'd appreciate it. I think they look pretty good with the flags and the command figures and everything, so hopefully that's accurate, but I guess we'll see. I'm also not certain whether they should be from two different regiments in each battalion or three. Again, I've seen kind of conflicting things. So right now I have them each battalion with men from three different regiments, which I think looks cool, but if I need to change the colors to just represent two regiments each, then I will of course do that. But right now we've got one battalion of German Grenadiers and one of Hungarian Grenadiers. Then we've got the Light Cavalry Brigade led by the flashy Hussar General. This consists of one regiment of Uhlans, one regiment of Chevaliers, and one regiment of Hussars. So with the Uhlans, these are actually converts from a hat set of French Uhlans, and I did have to cut off the heads and put on the Shapka hats with some other figures. Of course, in doing this, I neglected to notice that they should actually all have the plumes on them. So half the figures still need some plumes surgically attached, if that's something that I'm able to do, which seems like it might be a bit doubtful, but I guess we'll see. Then we've got the Chevaliers over here, and then the Hussars, which again are actually from an artillery set of French Hussars, but from what I was able to find, the Hussars of different nations look pretty similar, so I don't feel too bad about including them from a French set, especially because nobody makes a set of designated Austrian Hussars anyway. And then finally back here we've got the Heavy Brigade with two regiments of Cuirassiers. There are a couple there that were converted from some other sets of Dragoons, but most of them are from the Hat Austrian set of Cuirassiers. Then we've got the artillery. So again, we've got some kit-bashed horse artillery designated by the one figure per base, along with the smaller barrel, and then we've got some bases of foot artillery over here as well. And then a couple of casualty bases. Not as many as I probably should have for all the cavalry units that I have, but I can easily make some more of those in the coming weeks. And that should just about do it for the Austrian force here. So in total, that's 5 brigades, 3 infantry, 2 cavalry, 5 bases of artillery, and a commander for every brigade, as well as a major general to command the entire force. So that's pretty much it for this one. Just wanted to put those out there. Again, it's still a work in progress, so let me know in the comments if you think there's anything else that should be changed. Again, I'm still kind of learning the finer points of a lot of these units myself. So, but anyway, thank you very much for watching. I still have to make a video about my French army, which is a similar size to this one, maybe a bit larger. And yeah, hopefully that one will be out in the near future. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.